Hello students. So in this video we are going to understand the measurement of utility, and later on we are also going to do the law of diminishing marginal utility. Now measuring utility has always been questionable. There are two approaches with which we can measure the utility. The first approach was given by a classical economist. They said that utility can be measured in numbers, just like height and weight. And that approach is known as cardinal approach because cardinal word means number. So, since utility can be measured, the unit of measurement of utility is utils. For example, we measure height in inches and feet. We measure weight in grams. Similarly, we will measure utility in utils. This approach was given by classical economists like Alfred Marshall. The second school of thought comes from the modern economist. They said that utility cannot be measured. You cannot put numbers on utility, but you can only express utility in orders. That means you can say that I like this product better than that one. You can always give preferences. The consumer can always say that product A stands first for me, product B stands second. So utility can be expressed in order and not in numbers. And that is why this approach is known as ordinal approach. So there are two approaches to measure utility. This chart will make the things clear. So the consumer demand analysis can be done by two approaches. The first is the cardinal approach given by the classical economist. This approach says that utility can be measured in numbers. The second approach was given by modern economists. They said that utility cannot be measured in numbers, we can only order it. And that is why that approach is known as ordinal approach. So under cardinal approach, we have two laws to understand the consumer behavior. The first is law of diminishing marginal utility, and the second is law of equi-marginal utility. Under the law of diminishing marginal utility, we take only one commodity under considerance. Whereas under law of equi-marginal utility, we take two commodities. So basically, law of equi-marginal utility is just an extension to law of diminishing marginal utility. Similarly, under the ordinal approach, we again have two theories that will help us to analyze the consumer behavior. The first is the indifference curve analysis, and the second one is the revealed preference theory. Both these analyses will also help us to understand the consumer behavior without measuring the utility. So today in this video, I am going to explain you the first law under the cardinal approach, that is law of diminishing marginal utility. So first of all, some of the assumptions under the consumer behavior. These assumptions will hold throughout. That means these assumptions are common to both cardinal as well as ordinal approach. The first is maximum satisfaction. That means the consumer in our study, he wants maximum of satisfaction. The second, rational consumer. The consumer is a rational person. He thinks very logically. He is informed about everything that is happening in the market. And the third assumption is limited money income. This consumer has a constraint. He has an income constraint. Although he wants maximum satisfaction, but given his income, he has to stop somewhere. So these are the basic assumptions of the consumer behavior, and they are going to hold throughout the consumer demand analysis. Moving on, these are the assumptions of the cardinal approach. Number one, utility can be measured. So the word cardinal means number. So yes, utility can be measured in numbers. I can say that product A gives me 20 utils of satisfaction. I can put a number on my satisfaction. Second, utility of money is constant. So in economics, we basically presume money as just like any other product. So we are going to understand the utility behavior, but the assumption that we are taking over here is that money's utility is constant. Every unit of money gives me equal satisfaction. And the third is utility is additive. Since we can measure utility in numbers, we can always add it. So for example, I say product A gives me 20 units of satisfaction, product B gives me 15 units of satisfaction. So I can say that product A and B combined, they give me 35, that is 20 plus 15 units of satisfaction. It is additive in nature. So now that we have understood the assumptions under the cardinal approach, let's move on to the first law to understand the consumer behavior. That is called the law of diminishing marginal utility. Now this law is very simple. The name itself explains everything. The word diminishing means falling. It means reducing. The word marginal means additional, and utility means satisfaction. So basically reducing additional satisfaction. Let's understand this law with the help of an example. So for say you're very hungry, very hungry, and you go to a restaurant to eat a burger, and you order your first burger and you get it. That first burger is going to give you a lot of satisfaction because you're very hungry, the burger is very tasty, and that is why you're very happy when you consume the first unit of that commodity. The utility is going to be very high. Let's say I'm still hungry and I order a second unit of burger. Now that burger is going to give me a little less satisfaction because I am already full to some level. The burger is equally tasty. I get some happiness, but that is going to be a little less than the previous one. And let's say my friend pushes me to buy another third burger. That burger might give me almost negligible satisfaction. The utility is going to fall further. And if I eat even the fourth burger, I might even vomit out. So that means the satisfaction can go negative as well. The utility can go negative as well. So what do we see? As we consume more and more units of any commodity, the satisfaction that we get from additional unit keeps on falling. So this is what the law states. As the quantity consumed of the commodity goes on increasing, the utility derived from each successive unit goes on decreasing. So basically, marginal unit keeps on falling. This is called law of diminishing marginal utility. Let's try to derive the graph and let's try to understand this with the help of an example. Now since this is cardinal approach, and under cardinal approach we can measure utility. We can put numbers to utility. So the first unit of burger gives me 25 units of satisfaction. So marginal utility is 25. Now as per the law, the second unit is going to give me a little less satisfaction. Let's say that's 20 units. Similarly with the third burger, it's 13 units. Fourth gives me 5 units. The fifth unit, I am vomiting out. So the satisfaction is negative. So it's minus 4 units. And the sixth burger might be further more displeasant, and the utility is minus 15 units. So we see that yes, marginal utility is constantly falling. It is even going negative. Let us see what is happening with the total utility. As you can see, When marginal utility is positive, that is till the fourth unit, the total utility is increasing. It is 25, 45, 58 and 63. So it is increasing at that level. And when marginal utility has gone negative, I see that total utility is now decreasing. It was 63 earlier, now it's 59 and 44. In the last viewed video, we have understood how do we calculate total utility. So we see the behavior of the utilities now. Marginal utility is falling constantly. Total utility is first increasing till marginal utility is positive, and then it is decreasing when MU is negative. So let's see the graph of both of the curves. Here is the chart for the reference. So on y-axis we are going to take utility, and on x-axis we are going to take number of units consumed. Now let's see the total utility. First it is increasing and then it is falling. So this is how the TU curve would look like. First it increases and then it is falling. And for the MU curve, I see that it is constantly falling. So this is how my marginal utility curve would look like. So it is constantly falling, it is touching x-axis and then it is going negative as well. Let's understand a little more about these curves. So this level where I see that total utility is maximum, that is the level when marginal utility goes 0. After that, MU is going to go negative and TU is going to fall. So this is the behavior of marginal utility and total utility as per the law of diminishing marginal utility. Some things to be taken care of. Marginal utility curve would never start from the origin. It always starts from the first unit consumed. The reason being, the word marginal means additional, one extra. So this word, this marginal utility will always start from the first unit, because at 0 unit there cannot be any marginal utility. So therefore it will start from the first unit consumed. On the other hand, total utility will start from the origin, because when the number of units consumed is 0, total satisfaction received is also 0. So that's the behavior of TU curve as well as MU curve. Now, once we understand the law of diminishing marginal utility, let's derive consumer's equilibrium according to law of diminishing marginal utility. Because the ultimate analysis of understanding the consumer behavior is because I want to know the equilibrium point. I want to know the point where the consumer will be satisfied. So we understand the consumer is a rational person, and any rational person will be satisfied at that point where the utility that he is getting is equal to the utility that he is paying. Because all of us know none of the commodity is free. Every consumer has to pay a certain price for it, and the income of the consumer is limited. So the price that the consumer is paying is actually the utility of money, is actually the satisfaction of the money that he has to pay out to buy any commodity. So any consumer would be satisfied at that point only where the utility from the consumption that he is getting is equal to the utility of money that he is paying. So let's see. Remember the assumption that we have done earlier, utility of money is constant. So the law says that utility of any commodity keeps on falling. But according to the assumption, the utility of money remains constant. So we are going to keep this assumption in the mind when we start with the equilibrium conditions. So basically, the utility of money is nothing but the price that the consumer is paying for it. It is actually the price that is given in numbers, and marginal utility of money that also we can measure in numbers. They basically are equal. So I can also say that MUM is equal to the price of the commodity. So as per the condition of equilibrium, marginal utility of X that I am getting is equal to the price of X, or let's say it is equal to the marginal utility of money that I am paying. MUX should be equal to PX. That is the condition of consumer's equilibrium as per law of diminishing marginal utility. Let's have a look at the graphs. So here on y-axis we are going to take price and marginal utility, both of them, because remember this is cardinal approach. We can measure price also and we can measure marginal utility also. And on x-axis again I have number of units consumed. So all of us know as per the law that marginal utility of money is constant and the price is also constant. So because it is constant, it is going to be a horizontal line parallel to the x-axis. And we have already derived the marginal utility of X curve. It is a downward sloping line. So I see that at quantity Q2, the marginal utility of X that the consumer is getting is equal to the marginal utility of money or price that the consumer is paying. So as per the law, this should be the point of equilibrium. Let us see if that is true. So I see at quantity Q1, let us see what is happening at quantity Q1. At that quantity, the price that the consumer is paying is less than the satisfaction that a consumer is getting. So any rational consumer will think, okay, I am getting a lot of satisfaction, but the price is very, very less. So he will not be satisfied at this point. He would want more. He would buy more of that commodity X. So he will not be settled at quantity Q1. He will move to the right. Let us see what is happening at quantity Q3. At Q3, I see that price of commodity X is higher than marginal utility of X. That means the satisfaction that the consumer is getting is very less than the price that what he is paying for it. Any consumer would think that this product is very, very expensive. I am not getting that much of happiness from this product. So he will not be settled at this point. He would move back. A consumer would want to buy less of commodity X. So hence we understand that the consumer will not be satisfied to the left of Q2 and he will also not be satisfied to the right of Q2. So a rational consumer would only and only be satisfied at that quantity where price is equal to marginal utility of X. That is the condition of equilibrium as per law of diminishing marginal utility. So I hope this concept is clear to you. In the next video, we are going to move to the second law, that is law of equimarginal utility. Thank you very much.